Hi y'all, it's your native Flor-xan, and today we're going to start making a shepherd's pie, but not a traditional shepherd's pie. And you can't make shepherd's pie without some mashed taters, so let's get started on that. So I got a pot of water here coming up. I've got some small red skin potatoes, and the reason I like using the red skin potatoes is I like the flavor of them, and then two, smaller potatoes don't take as long to cook and they tend to mash a lot better. So we'll get this pot of water a-boiling, get these potatoes cooking, then we'll go from there. Okay, so our water's almost to the point of coming to a boil. I'm gonna go ahead and put our potatoes in there. This is why I like using a metal bowl. Take and dip it down in there, and that way you don't splash everywhere. We'll let this finish coming up to a boil and get these dudes a cook. Alrighty, so I shut our taters off. I stabbed one, and if you can stab that thing and it go in fairly easy, that's how you know your tater is done. And these are very done. So I'm gonna leave them in this hot water, set it on the stove while we fix our meat that goes in here. Alright, so we're getting our pot coming up. I'm just gonna spray a little duck fat. Alright, so I got 1 pound of ground meat, and I had to buy it in the tube because that's all they had. So I typically don't buy it in the tube. I want to see my meat before I buy it. Then I'm going to add a ½ pound of Italian sausage. So it might be hard to see with that steam, but our meat is almost finished brown. You know, they traditionally would make a shepherd's pie with ground lamb, but I wasn't able to find any, so I figured, well, we're not making one traditional anyway, so we'll use some 80/20 ground beef and some Italian sausage. We'll get this finished up, and then we'll move on to our next step. Okay, so our meat's done. Got it good and browned up. I got some frozen peas and carrots that I'm just gonna dump in here. I like using these versus canned because the canned ones always seem to be some mushy. Now I'm just gonna kind of fold these two together. Got a 9x9 baking dish. This is a non-stick dish, but I went ahead and sprayed it with some non-stick spray. And we're just gonna kind of spread it out like so. Make sure you got a pan big enough or you don't overload your pan. I got a good 3/4 of an inch or so to go, which is just perfect for our mashed potatoes that we're fixing to put on top of here. So we got our mashed potatoes, and before I get going, while they're still hot, I'm gonna put in ½ a stick of butter, a couple tablespoons of garlic, a little bit of onion powder, fresh cracked black pepper, and a little bit of salt, and then some plain old elbow grease. And the reason I like putting all that in there is so when I mash this up, it all gets incorporated real well. Now that we got most of it mashed up, I'm gonna add in probably a 1/4 cup of heavy cream and get that mixed in here real well. All right, so we got our taters mashed up here, and this is why this is not traditional, because traditional, they would do a creamy mashed potato. They wouldn't leave the skins on it. I just happen to like leaving the skins on it. We're just gonna place this down and then start spreading it out. Also, they would take, and they got theirs so creamy that they put it in a piping bag and then they pipe it on there, and which is fine. It comes out real good, but if you've been watching me for a little while, you know I like to do things a little different. So I got my oven preheated 400 degrees already. I'm gonna top this off, which is something that is very non-traditional, with some cheese, and something you'll never see with a shepherd's pie. We're gonna put a little bacon bits on top of there. This is the real bacon bits, like what you put in a salad. So we're gonna pop this in the oven, again on 400 for probably about 20 minutes or until that cheese is nice and brown. Okay, so we pulled it out of the oven. Got a nice golden brown on that cheese. We're gonna let it cool for a few moments, and then we're gonna cut into this and try this dude out. All right, so here we go. We're just gonna start in this corner here. Go about a spatula wide. And here we go, a non-traditional shepherd's pie. Taste this dude. That's good right there. And you noticed I didn't overly season anything. I just put a little bit in the mashed potatoes, the meat. I want it to leave that flavor of that beef and that Italian sausage to speak for itself. And surprisingly, the peas actually kind of make this, as well as the bacon we put on top. Simple dish to make. Takes a little bit of time. You could do some instant mashed potatoes on top if you want, or just traditional mashed potatoes that you make yourself. But I'm telling you, this is going to be a hit this week. So thanks for watching. Thanks to all you subscribers out there. We'll see you on the next one.